Hi everybody, welcome to my basement once again. I thought today, rather than do one of my tool videos, I would do a little virtual studio visit. I've been working on some new paintings and drawings, or works on paper, however you want to categorize them, mainly just to kind of keep myself sane. I find this type of painting that I've been doing, this type of painting and drawing that I've been doing for a long time, to just be kind of a meditation. And so I thought I'd show you some of the pieces I've been working on. I don't know if any of these are really finished yet, but you can kind of get a sense of what's going on with them and where I'm at right now. Thought I'd share. I've been working with some systemic drawings and paintings, I guess you could call them. My whole reason for painting and drawing is to relax and to let my brain unwind, and I don't like to think too much about what I'm doing, and I don't like to think too much about what it means. And I'm not much of a perfectionist either when it comes to art making, as you can probably tell. Really the way that I've made paintings and drawings for a very long time is to kind of set up the rules of a game. I play a little game with myself. For these paintings and drawings, these works on paper, I'm basically trying to work with irregular shapes, and everything ends up turning into a triangle. And so I sort of follow some strange system, and then sometimes I decide to break those rules. So you can see, these two over here on the right, I decided to break my system in a few spots and see how I felt about that. I tend to just get out one can of paint and throw down a layer on as many of the drawings or paintings as I feel like it fits. So these all have that last blue layer, which happens to be leftover paint from my bathroom. One of the toughest questions to answer about paintings like this is, when are they finished? And I tend to just paint things until I like them and I feel like they're done. This one might be close. I like these two paintings a lot. These are both on painted particle board. They're oddly shaped chunks of wood. One's a little thicker than the other. And I'm kind of utilizing the same system of shape and mark making that I'm using in the works on paper. So I don't feel like either of these are done yet, but they're getting close, and I really like seeing them on the wall. And if any of you noticed the frames I was making in the wood shop before we closed down, there is a similar system of shape going on there, irregular 5 or 6 or 7-sided shapes. So I plan to work with those frames, and I'm just trying lots of different approaches and lots of different materials, but a lot of the same ideas in all of these pieces. So I guess I'm sort of working on a series here. I don't know what's up with this little piece. Again, this is a small mixed media painting, ink and paint on a piece of plywood, and I keep thinking it's a failed piece, and then I keep messing with it, and it sort of comes back to life. So I'm gonna keep working on it and see what I can do with it, and either I will kill it or I will end up loving it. We'll see which. This might be my favorite piece of this new work, and I recognize that it is the simplest, but I also feel the most attracted to it, and feel like it's the most compelling. These two shapes actually come from a bathroom remodel project, and they are cut pieces. They're cutouts, so I had to cut out to make way for, I think, a faucet. And these are the pieces that were left over. And that's something I do a lot, is save cutouts. Whether I'm doing collage or construction, I tend to save pieces of wood that I find are interesting, or other pieces of material. But this is cement board with some paint on it. And they're both, you can see the back of the cement board there. And one of the things that I like about this piece is that those two pieces are slightly different thicknesses, which I feel like is sort of something very subtle but interesting about them. If I was going to show these, I would probably build a smaller ledge similar to the one they're sitting on, so that I could have that little shadow peeking around on the side. These two paintings here are mixed materials, a lot of house paint, some of the acrylic waterproofing that I was using on my shed the other day. These are very much in the style of paintings that I've made, or that I used to make about 20 years ago. A lot of layers, a lot of repeated patterns, a lot of crisscrossing stripes that all go at slightly different angles, or change their angle as they proceed across the picture plane. And both of these are just painted on scrap wood. I cannot decide how I feel about the green in the painting on the right, but I'm feeling like the painting on the left is pretty close to being finished. Maybe the closest of anything down here. Again, this is a style of drawing that I've worked in for about 20 years or more, probably more like 25. And it is an idea that I had where I wanted drawing to be more of a meditation, and so I decide on a shape that I'm going to repeat, or a system that I'm going to repeat over and over again, and then I let that play out across the page. What interests me about a lot of these repetitive drawings and paintings is the inaccuracies and the mistakes and the things that happen between the rows and between the columns, and the way that a marker gives out or my hand gets tired, and what happens to the pattern along the way. This one is a little different in that I made the pattern of triangles, and then I started adding in dots here and there to affect the pattern and affect the eye. And again, I don't think this one's done yet. I'm going to keep working on it and see where it goes. So that's what's going on in my studio right now. Please feel free to comment and let me know what you think of this work. Ask me questions. I'd love to hear it. I'm making this work in a vacuum, just like most of you, and I'm not sure what I think of it. So I'd love to hear what you think of it.